Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. The Ska'drin Celebration PTS is here, and we are here live on Twitch to cover this update for you. So we're going to go over all the patch notes. We're going to showcase all of the balance changes, because we actually have access to the PTS right now. So we're going to get to test all of this in the shooting range once we actually get to the balance section. But first of all, of course, let's check out the general updates here. Oh, chat's kind of overlapping it a little bit. Let me see if I can move chats, like, over here. Chat will get cut off. Alright, I think this is probably a safe place to put chat, though, for now, so we're going to put chat there. So, first of all, there is the Ska'drin Celebration Event Pass, and this is the final event pass of the year. They've commissioned community artists for the 2D cosmetics, such as sprays, and they've created 5 recolors in the event pass that bring some limited skins forward with new looks. So, this is a chance for a lot of newer players to achieve or acquire a version of a limited skin. Not the exact limited skin from the past, but indeed some limited skins. So, in the game here, let me show these off. We have the flashback pass here, and, oh, yep, there's Makoa. So we have the first recolor here, which is Volcanic Makoa, except he's blue, and honestly looks pretty fantastic. Next we have... Oh my, he's so bright! This is the recolor of the Ultimatum Fernando skin. You're gonna have to trust me, he doesn't look this bright in the actual game. This is, you know how some skins just look really bright in the lobby? This is one of those cases. But yeah, white and gold and blue recolor of this. From what I've heard, the information I have, it's not finished yet, but it is set up to look pretty sick. Then we have Rei. Apparently this beach skin is limited and people can't buy it anymore, so they're doing a recolor of this skin. She looks like she's getting a little sunburned. I see the makings of a sunburn there, but yeah, pretty nice. Then we have... Dun dun dun! Uh-oh. Quick, someone tell Infernal Drogos. We got a recolor of this skin, looking all red and gold and very menacing. And then... finally, the skin that I'm looking forward to the most. The Grok skin. Look at this, the recolor of Chieftain. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is sick. And I'm especially looking forward to this because back in Season 1, I didn't actually get the original Chieftain. So this is actually the skin I'm going to be getting. Because I need a version of this skin. I'm a Grok player. He's my highest level support, and I haven't had a version of this skin. It's been so frustrating. So this is... pretty nice for people who've missed out on these skins. They're effectively new skins for quite a significant portion of the player base, and even if you already have the original versions of these skins, some of these recolors are pretty sick. Like, I could totally see myself using the blue version of this, even though I already have the orange version. And yeah, there is one more skin for Makoa as well, which is yet another recolor, and oh, here it is. It's a little more goofy. A little more on the goofy side. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little strange. But, yeah, this is a direct purchase. It's not included in the event pass. The blue version is the one included in the event pass. And I don't get to use it either, because the event pass was bugged when we did a playtest, and this is the only skin I didn't unlock. Which is such a shame, because this version of the skin looks awesome. And if you need a reminder, here's the Volcanic skin originally. The blue skin's actually a little bit darker, I just noticed. So yeah, pretty cool. Alright, moving swiftly on with the patch notes here. Merry Mayhem returns. This is a quest line for players to earn rewards as well as chests and gold. So there's some basic quests here like play a match, capture objectives, stuff like that. You'll get a Happy Holidays title, you'll get some gold, you'll get 50 crystals down here later on in the quest line, a Flair and Style chest, a gold cache, a Festive Presents chest, I'm not sure what's in that chest, and then there's a redacted quest here. Limited Has Saved Realms title. I guess we'll have to see that quest when we get to it. And we will talk about the crowd control, debuff, and status conveyance. So, they have made it a bit clear that certain effects are crowd control or status effects. So, for example, on this Zhin talent, this is a new version of Yomi that we're going to get to later in the balance. You can already read what it does. But this is an example of them calling out status effects in the descriptions of talents now. And this will apply for abilities and stuff. So, yeah, you can see Ignites is a status effect. It'll ignite enemies hit for 3 seconds, and the Infernal Blade deals increased damage to targets that are burning or ignited. So, it's a way to make it a bit more clear to new players, or just any player at a glance, whether something applies crowd control or status. And so here we can see again, Yeah, displacement effects have been broken up into knockback, knockup, push, pull, and lift, and they have currently been renamed to fit their appropriate thing now. So now you can see here, Gravity Vice will lift an enemy, and then push them, and all of that is listed here in blue now to convey that it is crowd control. And down here, yeah, this is where they said they're replacing older instances of phrases, such as, reduces movement speed has been replaced with slow. So now Buck's net shot will say it slows them, and it's highlighted in blue. So, this is a nice little quality of life change. Ultimately, it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but hopefully for new players it'll be a bit clearer what's going on, and that's good because Paladins does need as many new players as it can get, and retaining them is very important, and this will help with that. After that, there are some mode updates. We have 2 limited time mode updates. First, there is a new limited time mode called TDM Roulette. You can draft your team carefully in the gun game-inspired Throne TDM. Every time you die, you will randomly swap to another champion on your team and quickly adapt to overcome your opponents. So, I think this is the first time we've seen active, champion switching in a match. Should be a pretty new take on Paladins, I guess. And then, of course, there's some more Truly Talented updates. We haven't seen Truly Talented in a hot minute because it was bugged. This should come back, this patch, right? Please, let me play some Truly Talented. It's my favorite limited time mode of all time. And it's about to get even cooler, because they've added Atlas to the champion pool. Absolute Giga Chad that he is. And guess what? He's got Flashback Fisher. Because Unstable Fisher still has, the name Unstable Fisher, so they had to come up with a different name. Activating Second Chance leaves behind an Unstable Fisher that explodes after 3 seconds, dealing 1,000 damage. So if you miss this old version of the talent, you get to play this in Truly Talented. And they've preemptively removed Yaggroth from the champion pool. Was her talent even working? I don't know. But, yeah, Yaggroth is gone. Hip hip hooray. And they've really just tried to turn Truly Talented into more of a blast from the past mode with these other changes.
The father of Paladins.
Yes. So they've decreased the starting credits down to 400, just like old Siege. Credit earn rate from the objective has been reduced. They have replaced certain maps with their classic variations, so we have Classic, Stonekeep, Warder's Gate, and Timbermill. And they removed certain maps released or reworked after Season 2. So Frozen Guard and Dawnforge are gone. No Dawnforge and Truly Talented, guys. This is fantastic. And yeah, they finally fixed the issue where talents were not available for players to select. So we should see a lot of Truly Talented this update, and I am so looking forward to it, because it is so much fun. But now it's finally time to talk about balance. So first of all, let's talk about damage types. Do you guys remember damage types, direct and area damage? Well, they're doing some new stuff with that. Or rather, bringing back some old stuff. So refactored various weapons and abilities to properly use the correct damage type between direct and area. They basically modified champions, adjusted them accordingly based on how they want to define what is direct and area damage, and they added new callouts on various effects to note when they swap damage type due to talent selection. So Slugshot Ash, for example, will specify that it deals direct damage now. And yeah, move to select number of abilities from one type to another to accommodate new consistency guidelines. So, why would they be doing this? Well, if you're a savant of old Paladins, if you're a grandpa in the Paladins universe, as I am, then you will remember a time when there were 2 items called Haven and Blast Shields, one of which reduced your damage taken by direct attacks, the other of which reduced your damage taken by area attacks. And they're both coming back. So they have decided to scrap the armor plating and arcane warding sort of setup entirely, which honestly, good. Just for the sake of, I don't have to say those words anymore, because those items were so wordy. I just want to say Haven, man. It's so much simpler. But yeah, these are back, basically returning with their complete old effects and scaling. So 6% damage reduction versus area effects versus direct attacks, and they both scale at 300 credits.
They used to both scale to 30%.
Yeah, but, can you imagine 30% in modern Paladins? Are you kidding me? No, we don't want that. So, yeah, this is pretty good. And let me just show you some good examples of what I mean. So, if you are unaware of the split versus direct and area damage, then let me pick a good champion who has kind of a mix of both. Here we go, how about Androxus? So, you see here how they list right above here. It's subtle, you might not have noticed before. Direct, area, like this. So, if you buy Haven, then Androxus will deal less damage with his Revolver and his Reversal. But if you buy Blast Shields, then he'll deal less damage with his Defiance and his Accursed Arm. And the reason why they're bringing this split back is because, well, with Arcane Warden, there were very few situations where you'd want to buy it, because the amount of team compositions that are so heavily focused on ability damage that you would want Arcane Warding are simply very slim. And with Haven and Blast Shields, they simply had a more even split between them. And especially in Modern Paladins, where there are a lot more blasters and a lot more area of effect abilities, there are a lot more reasons to want area damage resistance now. So the Blast Shields versus Haven split will hopefully make it so that there's more of a reason to want to pick one item over the other, instead of everyone just going for armor plating all the time. And yeah, this should definitely shake things up in the damage reduction meta, because Haven will actually probably have less value than armor plating. And also, of course, Blast Shields will have more value than Arcane Warding, and now you're going to have even more decision-making in your matches, because what if you have Drogos and Androxus on the same team? Well, ultimately, Haven is still better versus Androxus, but then you'd be free to be attacked by Drogos, or vice versa. So do you want to buy both? That's a lot of credits. What if you just go for Veteran instead? So there is hopefully more decision-making here. I know that when they saw the initial, or when some players saw the initial DR split between armor plating and Arcane, they called for just, hey, why don't we return to Haven Blast Shields instead? And it looks like they got their wish. So here we go. This should definitely be an interesting development in the meta. There are also a few more item changes down here before we get into some actual champion balance changes. So we've got a Horde rework. Horde now has a very unique effect as far as Paladins is concerned, because at level 3 it will turn into a different item. So, Horde level 1 will gain credits, Horde level 2 will upgrade the rate at which you generate those credits, clearly. And it'll still cost 150 and 300 credits for the first 2 tiers. But then, or actually it'll cost 200 and then 400, excuse me. But then at level 3, you will transform this item to instead provide 10% movement speed, mount speed, cooldown reduction, and ultimate generation speed. So, it basically provides you 10% of all the other yellow items in the store, and of course, it does stack. So, yeah, Horde now suddenly has a use case where, in the late game, if you've maxed out your credits, you can transform it, and all of a sudden this item isn't wasting any space either, and as a matter of fact, it seems like a very powerful item. But look at the cost. 200, 400, 2,000 credits. Unga bunga? That's a lot of credits. And the reason why it's so expensive is obviously because Horde helps you make money. And it's a very powerful effect. So, you now have to make a decision. Alright, I buy a Horde level 2. Do I want to save up 2,000 credits using Horde to buy this item? I mean, that's a lot of time spent where basically I'm playing Paladins without any real items that impact me. Do I buy Horde and then buy other items and then save up 2,000 credits for this? I don't know. But it does provide more late-game viability. So, we'll see if this actually ends up saving Horde. It's certainly a very interesting idea. Of course, the one weakness of it that I still see is that if the match is too fast, then Horde is still useless. So, you really do want to plan out for a long game here. But now in a long game, like a 3-3 Ice Mines match, for example, there might actually be some justification to buy Horde now. It'd be really interesting. And of course, the combo potential of having potentially 40% cooldown reduction on a character sounds pretty spicy to me. So we'll see. We'll see how this item feels to use. That's definitely probably the biggest item change here. And then finally, just for fun, Nimble has been buffed from 7% scaling to 10% scaling, so 30% Nimble at level 3. The price has not been changed. You can just run really fast now. Hey, cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, now it's time to talk about champion balance. So let's pop into the shooting range here. I can showcase all of these changes right now. So let's go. First of all, Barik has, well, he hasn't gotten the bucket list of wishes that I asked for, but he still got
Even
one very
Horde,
sizable
it's
buff.
still 1.7 seconds calculated with dim returns.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up some Forge Fire here. This talent has been buffed. Has it been buffed enough? Well, I don't know, but let's just read out the stats. So they increase the single turret damage from 350 to 400, increase double turret single target damage from 450 to 666, that's evil! And, most importantly, they've increased the range from 22 to 30 units. The range was one of the biggest limiting factors for Forge Fire, because a lot of the times the enemies would destroy or outmaneuver the turrets before the turrets would be in range. So now it should be a little bit easier for the turrets to hit enemies at longer range, and they will be doing slightly more damage now. Oh boy. You know what? I probably should have put both of them over here so we can showcase the single target damage. Alright, kill that Vic, and then both of you lock onto Ying. Yeah, there we go. And that's a pretty quick kill. So certainly if you get close to the Forge Fire turrets, they are going to dish out a lot of damage. I still think it'll probably be his weakest talent, because I think the turrets will still be relatively easy to destroy. And I don't know, we'll have to test in practice how the range modifier feels. Hopefully that helps. But, yeah, it still seems like there is going to be a lot of counterplay to this talent, but it is at least a step, hopefully, in the right direction. Now let me switch champion because I can't hear myself think. Okay. So, Betty La Bamba up next. Long Live the Queen now provides CC immunity during wind-up, and once Betty dismounts, the rocket speed has been increased by about 25%. So from 80 units up to 100 units. And also they have changed the card Ride the Rocket. I don't actually know what that card does, so let me take a look at it. Ride the Rocket. This one. I don't remember what this one did. It must not have been that good then, huh? But this will increase the projectile speed of Cluster Bomb by up to 30%, so I can pump this up to level 5. Actually, I forget what card I had in that slot, too. I didn't pay attention. Okay, Queen's Entrance. Good. Gotta remember that, so that way I can fix the build. But yeah, let's see that improved projectile speed. Yeet! Yeah. I guess that's there. I'm not really sure why you'd want to use that. But, hey, that is pretty fast. So, yeah, there you go. Let me fix the build now, and let me show you this. So yeah, during wind-up, you see she's now CC immune. And we can chuck the rocket out, and that should move a little bit faster towards its destination and blow them up. So, just some minor fixes to Betty's ultimate, and the CC immunity is going to mean a lot for certain situations, because, of course, yeah, previously she could be CC'd out of it, she could be stunned out of it, silenced out of it, etc. I even did that very recently. So, yeah, that will be slightly nice for her. Maybe she can use it as an escape tool more effectively. Still probably a bad ult, though, but you know what? It's nice, it's something. Next up, we got changes for my two favorite champions, Bomb King and Evie. Let's talk about Bomb King first. Very simple buff to Accelerant, his worst talent, and they have merged Accelerant and Demolition halfway. So it still has the effect of Accelerant, where it reduces the time for Grumpy Bomb to explode, but the new effect is that it increases the damage dealt to shields by 200%. So this is now sort of a shield buff busting talent, which is kind of interesting. Because, yeah, technically Bomb King doesn't have a talent that's good against shields. Chain Reaction doesn't work on shields because the bombs instantly explode on the shield. So, unless you throw a pile of bombs on the ground underneath the shield, you can't really use Chain Reaction against the shield. And I can't really showcase this in the shooting range either, but you can see Grumpy Bomb does 800 damage at max, and against shields that'll go up to 2400 damage, which is a pretty big boost. It's like having Wrecker 6, and even then, a little bit extra. So that's interesting. Probably not enough to save the talent, but hey, it's there. And, hey, new counter to Torvald? I mean, he doesn't really have anything that can block CC, right? He just has to run away in time. I don't know. Maybe we have new counterplay options here. Next up, though, we have an Evie Nerf. Dun dun dun. So, this could have been so much worse, and luckily, it's not that bad. So Snow Globe, my favorite talent for Evie, has been nerfed. And now it has a new effect where the slow is reduced to 30%. So, to be honest, I kind of wish they wrote it in the notation of it's reduced by 50%. But I guess since the slow is already a percent, that might have been confusing. So, yeah, basically the slow is cut in half. The Ice Storm now costs half the ultimate charge, deals double the damage, but the duration and the slow are cut in half. So we're keeping the rule of 2 here. And so just for context, let me show you the base ultimate up first. This is the Wormhole ultimate, slow. Yeah, it's like walking through sludge. It's pretty bad for these pips. Ouch. Look at how much faster they're moving now. And now if I pick Snow Globe, the new slow should be a lot, well, faster. And you can see how they're able to walk out of it just a little bit faster. The ultimate is a little bit less noticeable. And because it's 30% now and Nimble has been buffed, guess what? If you were to buy Nimble 3, you would actually completely negate the effect of the slow, and you would just be moving at a net rate of 0% movement speed modifier, so you'd just be walking at normal speed. So Nimble 3 is now actually, arguably, a better counter to Snow Globe than Sentinel, because Sentinel would only reduce the effectiveness of the slow by 75%, whereas Nimble would reduce it by 100%. And if you really want to stick it to the Eevee player, then you can just buy both, and then you'd actually be moving faster still inside of the Snow Globe. So the reason why this nerf is happening is because less slow effectiveness means that it's easier to escape it, and thus easier to get out of the cripple. So Eevee can still spam the cripple effectively, but there will be a lot more counterplay to it, because movement speed buffs are getting pretty powerful. There are a lot of them in this game, and they will actively be countering the Ice Storm much more effectively now. So the Eevee player is going to have a shorter window of opportunity to actually take advantage of that. So we'll see how this feels. We'll see what, community sentiment is around it. But yeah, seems like an okay nerf to me. And also, by the way, check this out. I'm walking with Nimble 3 right now. This is ridiculous. 30% movement speed. Oh my god. There's also one brand new card for Eevee, and I want to showcase that. I don't have a build with it, do I? Oh! Ha! Here we go, chat! We have a build made just for this card. So, Cold Acclamation has been reworked. This card previously removed the self-knockback from her weapon and caused her to take significantly less damage from it, up to 100% less self-damage at level 5. That card was a bit crap, so they've reworked it. And they've made it so that, while within your Ice Storm, you heal for 160 every 1 second and gain 50% movement speed. The movement speed lingers for 3 seconds after leaving the Ice Storm. So, pretty powerful movement speed effect. And, you know, it's kind of like all her other movement speed effects, to be honest. This scales up to 40%, this scales up to 50%, so they're keeping with the very high scaling, which is nice. Let's test that out. Let's see how it feels. So pop down the ult. Whoa! And that persists for 3 seconds after leaving the Ice Storm, and there we go, it's over. So yeah, they can move faster during my Ice Storm because of the nerf, but so can I with this card. It's a little silly. And I guess the name is very fitting, because you're acclimated to the cold, you're inside of the cold, and that gives you a sort of buff. The healing doesn't seem that strong. It's, what is it? 160 every second, and you're still affected by Cauterize, so you're not really picking it for the healing, you're picking it for the movement speed. Clearly. Yeah, that healing is not a lot. It is something, I guess. But yeah, that movement speed is pretty nifty, so it gives you a new effect on your ultimate. Not too many cards that do that, honestly, so we'll see how this feels to play. I'm sure Stealthy will come up with some goofy way to use that. Alright, after that, who do we have next on the balance docket? Alright, we have Grover. Get ready for the most wimpy balance change of the entire update. So, Chopper.
Combine Cold Acclamation with Avalanche and Lethality.
Chopper now has increased scaling from 50 to 80. Can you even see that? You can't see that, yeah. Yippee, we can now get 400 healing after hitting an enemy with Crippling Throw. That's it. That's the balance change. We're moving on to Io. That's literally it. So, Io has a sort of interesting new effect on her ultimate. And that is that it will now sort of slide on walls. So it'll continue along the wall after dropping targets on collision for a few seconds. I'll try and demonstrate that here. It kind of stuck on the wall. It's a little bit weird, because sometimes the walls will have like little divots like this that it'll actually end up getting stuck on anyways. But yeah, it's supposed to slide. It's new Paladins code, so yeah, it's obviously going to be jank. Let me see if I send it against that wall. Yeah, there you go, so you get a little bit more sliding. And it does drop Ying, though, on collision. What if I send it against this wall? Wow, that just gets stuck, and that's like a straight wall, too. Oh, man. What if I just do that? It exploded on that wall, because it ran out of time. Oh, my. This is, This is not that good of a buff. Oh boy. Bro, it doesn't work. It doesn't work! Okay. So Io is effectively the same. This means almost nothing. They tried, though, and that's what counts.
Fire the ultimate into the ground.
Fire the ultimate into the ground? Well, that worked already. Wait, actually, wait, it doesn't work anymore. Wow, so they actually broke the IO tech where you could have a slow-crawling ultimate along the floor by trying to make it so it slides along the wall. What if I do it like this, though? Okay, it will still kind of work if you do it at a more shallow angle, but it won't be slow anymore. No more slow. You can kind of control, but if you just do it straight down, it's not going to work. Oh, that's goofy. Okay, so after that we have Kasumi changes. Dun dun dun. Oh wow, look at that. It says fears instead of slowing, but slowing isn't in blue. Uh-oh. Looks like they still need to do that pass to make sure they actually highlight everything properly. But yeah, Kasumi has gotten a few changes. So, first of all, immediately right off the bat, you'll notice that the build I stole from Shure has a different effect, and that's because they've reworked Essence Drain. Gone is the damage boost on this card. Instead, it reduces your damage taken by a whopping 30% for 2 seconds after using Savage Tear. Okay, well, at least they kind of learned from Vora's card by making it 2 seconds instead of 3 seconds. But man, more damage reduction on this character. Okay. And also, Deadly Traps has been reworked, which is this card. And this will increase the duration of Spirit Trap's crowd control effects by up to a second. Ah, yes, an additional second on the fear from Haunted Ground. That's... okay. And this was the one that increased the damage, I'm pretty sure. Didn't it also decrease the cooldown? I don't... Wait, did... Huh. Did they just kind of brick this card? And when it comes to the cooldown? Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, that's not really something I care about. What I do care about, though, is the fact that Haunted Ground has been buffed. I guess they... Oh, wait, no, they did put it into base kit, didn't they? When it comes to Haunted Ground, they just decreased the cooldown after activation by 2 seconds. So, I guess we can try that out? Maybe. I don't know if it'll be that good to demonstrate it in the shooting range here. Here, let's throw that down and then teleport to it. Boink. Yeah, 6-second cooldown now. And... Did the card actually work there? I do have it in here at level 5. Let me take the card out. Let me just swap to a different build. And then put this down. It looks... It doesn't even look like it's working. One more time with this build, level 5 card. And... Okay, so Fernando made it to about here. Yeah, no, it's not even working. It's not even working, guys. Okay. Well, anyways, after that, there is one more change that I think a lot of people, including myself, are going to like. They have reduced the overall cone size from 6 down to 1. So she's effectively just a hit scan now. Effectively just a hit scan. You see this? This is about the same amounts of aiming as required by someone like Androxus on this Ying here. And bear in mind, the Ying in the shooting range has a much bigger hitbox than Ying in actuality. So if I just swap to Androxus real quick and show you his hit scan. So if I aim right about here, okay, I can still hit her. So Kasumi is only barely slightly more forgiving than Androxus in this case. Actually, still is decently more forgiving than Androxus. But, you know, it's still... This is the tightest it has ever been for Kasumi. So, she's basically just a big hit scan. It's like a hit scan, but with the size of like a frickin' Azan projectile. Let's just call it like that. So yeah, more precision required on this character. If your aim is good, then it'll be fine, but if your aim isn't, then, well, that sucks. And that's all for Kasumi for now. Next, let's talk about Khan. Speak of the devil. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not about his ultimate. It's actually about Leon's shield. This is a goofy little thing. So, your Bulwark will still regenerate while active, and it has a new effect now, where if your Bulwark breaks from full charge, allies around you gain 35% movement speed and 400 health shields for 4 seconds. The wording of this makes it seem, to me, like Khan himself won't get the buff. So let's test that now. I'm going to stand in front of the Cassies here, stand right in front of Fernando. So, and let me go third person as well so we can see Fernando. So, if this is working, then both Fernando and I should get the shield. But in practice, yeah, only he gets the shield. So this doesn't actually work on Khan itself, which in my opinion, makes it a bit crap. And yeah, I'll show the range as well. Let me... Yep. Alright, so I'm getting shot by this Cassie. And then the shield breaks. Oh, hold on. Wait! Gotta wait for Fernando. Okay. Oh, pretty bad range, too, but I couldn't... Wait, I can battle shout him over here, so it's actually less range than the battle shout. Okay. So, immediately two things I would like changed about this talent. Make it work on Con himself, make it the same range as the battle shout. It has to be from a full health, should it be broken? No. I don't think so, because if I do this, and then take it down, and then put it back up... Oh, wait, wow, no it doesn't. Wait. Wow, that too? Really? Dang, this is, like, useless. Okay, let me try that again with full charge on the Cassie, then. Here, have this while I'm waiting for it to max out. Alright, there we go, and then... Shield real quick. Oh, he's gonna die. Well, he should respawn by the time my shield breaks, right? Because she's gonna have to reload here. Okay. She took unusually long to reload, and also, yeah, that didn't work. Okay, so yeah. Okay! Wow, that's a big problem. It was there, yeah, just instantly popped? Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, it should be the same range as the battle shout, if it isn't already. It should probably work on Con, and it should probably also not have the prerequisite of being up, because you toggle the shield very often. Like, there are many, many times where my shield is half broken, I wait for Cauterize to be cleansed, battle shout, and then I'll, like, put up my shield again, and then it might break, and in that situation, you would get no value out of this talent. So, I think that clause should probably be gone, too. Because, I mean, come on, okay, maybe that might be a little strong, but, like, so? Storm of Bullets will still probably be better for this guy. Let's give a good reason to pick any of Con's other talents. So, this does seem like it's still a bit weak in its current state. Hopefully it'll be buffed. Alright, now... Uh-oh, guys. Let's talk about Lex. Ugh, this guy. I'm just gonna show you. Well, first of all, before I show you, Heroism has been reworked. No more cooldown penalty, but now it's just gain immunity to crowd control during combat slide. Yippee. Oh yeah, and also, Wicked Don't Rest no longer gives cooldown reduction on your dash, so it heals you for 240 on combat slide. I guess that's a nerf for Lex. But yeah, let me show you. Let me just show you.
I am the law.
You notice something, chat? Whoa, Fernando's spinning around. He's going crazy. But, there's, like, no screen shake anymore. So now, it is so much easier to aim with Lex without the, assist of aim assist. Or the assist of aim? I don't know. But it's easier to play him without having a computer doing part of the aiming for you. So, that's probably a good thing. Also kind of a scary thing. And yeah, it should also be working on Death Hastens as well. Although it's still a little jarring, but yeah, Death Hastens is easier to use now too. So they've made Lex even easier, but at the cost of, hey, Wicked Don't Rest is gone now. Like you'll notice, I am not going to be getting any cooldown reduction on this slide whatsoever. And that's a pretty broad, big nerf, to be honest. So, we'll see how Lex feels in the meta now. He was already kind of falling off, in my opinion. Like, why would you pick Lex when you have Koga or Talus right now? And yeah, I don't know if that nerf to the card is going to make him even more irrelevant, or if this new screen shake thing is all of a sudden going to make him uber popular. We'll have to see. To be honest, I don't play enough Lex to tell you what the case is going to be with that. Oh, guys, are you ready? Time for another, very small balance change to Maldamba. This is a buff, but it's a buff to a terrible card. So Pungent Gourd is going from 5% scaling to 8% scaling. That's this card right here, which increases your ally's movement speed while you're in the gourd. So if I pump this up to level 5, it is now at level... it is now at 40%. So I throw the gourd on the ground, and it's basically the same movement speed scaling now as Dissipate Sky, which is actually kind of huge, because with many gourds, you can also have really consistent uptime on this. Is this an excuse to play Ripened Gourd? Absolutely not. But could you potentially see a playstyle from Aldonza where you put many gourds at level 5, you put this card at level 5, you get a little bit of damage reduction in here from this card, just like that, and then you play Spirit's Chosen, get some Chronos, and then you have Dissipate Damba kind of thing. Maybe that's a playstyle. I'm not saying it is a good playstyle, but maybe it's a playstyle. I don't know. It's pretty interesting card change, though, that's for sure. And after that, we have another card change for Nyx. So this is one that is very spicy. So they have reworked Center of Combat, so no more damage bonus on your poison. But the thing they've replaced it with is also very spicy. So Royal Presence's poison will now linger on enemies for 4 seconds. So we have the poison back. Leave the radius, and it persists. Now at level 5, this is 2 seconds less than the previous poison that was in base kit, which was 6 seconds. And, yeah, this card is definitely going to be very powerful, because even though it doesn't increase the damage of it anymore, it is still increasing the damage because it's increasing the duration of the poison, and thus, you still deal more damage to the enemies. Now what you might see is possibly dropping Abyssal Authority as well, and just going for Center of Combat and then, like, Health card at level 5. Because if the poison lingers, you don't necessarily need the range anymore. It will still make it easier to apply it, but, you know, the range isn't as mandatory. Or you might see Abyssal Authority at level 5 and no Center of Combat. Or you might still just see people playing both of these cards at level 5 because it's funny. But yeah, that is a pretty big change for Nyx. So, yeah. Nyx is so last season now, no Arcane Bruv. Well, I mean... But Royal Presence is area damage. Oh, that was the wrong button. That's not W, but let me see. Let me see real quick. Blast Shields. Alright, so Cassie does 680 damage per shot. So I should be down to around 4170 HP if it does full damage. But with Blast Shields here, let's see. Take one shot, and that will take me down to... Yeah, exactly 4170. Okay, so it doesn't work. Dang it, man. Well, let me see about Haven. Let me see if that double dips. Alright, Haven. And go. Okay. And that takes me down to 4394. So, 18%. Let me pull up the calculator for this, because we're going to do some heavy math here. Okay, so, let's see. That would be 0.82 times 680 would be that, and then 4850 minus 558. Oh, wait, hold on. Minus 558 would be... Bruh, why did that pull up the history? Okay, 4292. And did we see 4292? Let me double check again. We saw 4394. So we have got our new double dipping answer. Okay, so Arcane Warding is gone, and Arcane Warding scaled higher. It's scaled to 30%. But Haven's gonna double dip on a lot more attacks. Because Haven will affect Androxus bullets, Leon bullets, Sha Lin, Strix, basically most primary attacks in the game. Cassie. So, yeah, huge double dipping there with Haven. And, yeah, because I guess... Okay, so I guess the poison effect counts as area damage, but I'm guessing the self-damage counts as direct. So, yeah, we're just going back to Haven. We're just going back to Haven, and Haven is going to have less scaling than Arcane Warding previously, but it'll affect more things. So the double dipping should still be fine, hopefully. And then, yeah, Blast Shields is not what you would want to go then. Because, yeah, and the reason I tested it on Cassie, even though Cassie obviously does direct damage, by the way, because I saw someone confused in the chat. If if Nyx's thing is area damage, right? Because it said area damage there, then I still would have taken less damage because Royal Presence converts damage from one type to another. So it converts Cassie's damage into Royal Presence damage. So I wanted to test if Royal Presence was affected by area damage or armor plating. So there you go. That's why I did that. So yeah, double dipping with Haven now. That's pretty cool. And new card for Nyx. So yeah, glad we got to test that. After Nyx, who do we have? Oh, we have Omen. Uh-oh. Ew, brother, ew. This character's gross. And he's got quite a few changes as well. First of all, a very important card change. Well, at least it says it on the patch notes. It doesn't say it in-game here. Let me actually see. Does this do more damage? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, good. So, more has been reworked to, while at least 2 enemies are marked by ominous brand, heal for 60 every 1 second. And so at level 5, it'll be 300 every second, which is actually kind of huge. So if I just shoot you and then shoot you... Oh, it comes as one big burst, but you see that healing on my screen? You see that healing? So that is the card in action. And as long as you are hitting multiple people consistently, you have the ominous brand on multiple people, you will get healed for more than a Genos mark, just in big bursts of healing like that. I feel like to make it a bit more clear that it's active, it would be good to separate into smaller chunks of healing. But the point is the healing is there. So that's neat, and it gives Omen an interaction with his passive that previously wasn't there. The goal with some of these card reworks is to make it so that he has more of a reason to actually consider his passive. And the second card that's been reworked is Everlasting Power. I don't know what that does before. Oh, here it is. Oh, this was the Ultimate Charge one. Uh-oh. Okay, no more Ultimate Charge builds then. But whenever you mark an unmarked enemy with Ominous Brand, you will gain up to 40% movement speed for 3 seconds. So, pop that on Vic, and we are moving very fast for 3 seconds. Pop that on Ying, we refresh it. Pop that back on Vic now, and we can have permanent speed Omen. And this speed boost actually kind of makes sense on him because he's a shotgun character and it'll help him get in close. If only he would play more around the shotgun, though. But I guess, since I'm talking about that, we might as well segue into the change that makes it so he plays less around his shotgun. You now only need 1 shot to wind down into the rifle mode. So, boom, boom. And now we're in rifle mode. This will certainly give him better long-ranged poke. And now his rifle is basically just like, hey, I'm Leon, but with better damage. Woo. So, even less shotgun-based gameplay on the character who's meant to be the shotgun damage champion. That's a bit unfortunate. Of course, you can still just tap, semi-auto, break your finger to get that faster fire rate, and the shotgun. But you're even less incentivized to do that now. Especially because at this range, why wouldn't you just wind down his rifle form and gain that more accurate damage? So, yeah. Shame the shotgun, shame we don't have an option to keep it as a shotgun. Yeah, there's no dedicated shotgun playstyle, sadly. There is one final card change, and that is to this right here. Void Choke previously increased the damage of Gravity Vice. Now it increases the height of Gravity Vice. Whee! So you can send someone even higher into the air, and there's no way to counter that displacement either. Sentinel doesn't counter the lift, Sentinel only counters the push. So, there we go. Yay! Or at least I assume Sentinel doesn't counter the lift. Doesn't seem like it. Maybe that's because the lift was so short to begin with. But, yeah, that extra height... No. Not necessarily useless, because that extra height means that the push, the knockback strength, will have even more effect. Because if you throw them from a higher place, they have a longer distance to travel to the ground, meaning that their momentum carries. There's no friction in the air like that. So you can have an even easier time throwing someone off the map right now. Check this out. If I just pick up that Vic, look at how far he goes. That's pretty far. And if I take the card out and just slot in Everlasting Power, I guess, and then throw him again, yoink and yoink. Okay, so he kind of goes back to a similar position, but in theory it should allow you to throw a little bit more effectively. Unbound helps the lift for Omen. Does increased or a decreased duration mean that he gets lifted less? I wish there was a way to test that in the shooting range. It's a very silly thing. Yeet! But yeah, he just goes so far away. Okay. And, yeah, that's it for Omen. After that, we have Rei, and Rei is mostly getting a bunch of card changes as well as some slight tweaks to certain abilities. So first of all, Linked is marked. Hey, that's pretty cool. But yeah, Focus has been slightly retuned, so the duration and the cooldown have both gone down by 1 second. Link duration is 3 seconds, cooldown is 6 seconds, so it's more spammable, but the effects are have a less duration. And this is technically a nerf in terms of the uptime, technically, because previously you'd have 4 seconds over 7 seconds would be a 57% uptime, and now you're down to exactly 50% uptime, assuming the link is on the target the whole time. Of course, if the target cleanses the link, then this new focus is better because the cooldown is lower. But yeah, a bit of nuance there. Anyways, yeah, also the... let's see, the time to break on the base Spirit Link has also been increased 3 seconds to match focus. So default Spirit Link will persist on Fernando here for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Bye. Just a small little change there as well. Envelop is also getting some changes, and this is so sad. This is a major loss. Big L for anyone who is making Paladins trivia quizzes. Because this ability right here, no longer does damage. Yeah, it used to do damage. Did you know that, chat? I don't know how many people knew that, but yeah, it technically did damage. If you were in melee, it would do like 100 damage per second or something really small like that. That's gone now. So, yeah, if you were making a Paladins trivia game, you can't use that fun fact anymore. I honestly don't know why they did that. I guess just to clean up bloat from her kit, because now the description's going to be shorter. But yeah, no more damage. No more damage. And also, they have made it so that it reduced the movement speed bonus from 40% to 30%, but increased the jump height bonus from 50 to 75. Boing! Boing! Oh, I couldn't quite make it up there in 2 jumps. But, yeah. Playing a little bit more into Rei's unique niche at the cost of some movement speed, which I suppose is fair. And the final thing is, she has a new passive, so let me switch builds entirely into something that doesn't have magic in the blood. This build sucks. I'm going to use it. Let's go. So, check this out. Bounce heals through, and then if I hit weapon shots, you'll notice that even though I don't have magic in the blood, I'm able to make progress towards my next heal, just like that. So that is a passive now. However, they have not removed magic in the blood. It's still here. So I can swap to this build now, which has... Oh wait, they just reworked the card. Okay, so never mind. That has been shifted into base kit. I don't think that was there the last time I read the patch notes. Okay, so yeah, that's just in base kit now. That's just in base kit now. So yeah, let's talk about card changes now. Geez, there are so many. We have to read through a bunch. So I'm just going to edit loadout and we'll cover each of them. Arcane Maelstrom has massively increased scaling from 4% per tier to 7% per tier. So at level 5, you'll be able to reduce your allies' cooldowns by 35%. That's pretty huge. That's pretty big. It was there last time during playtest, I just didn't have the value showing yet. Oh, was the description not updated? Whoops. Well, hey. Listen, that shows you how much I care about Rei, okay? And then also, Arcane Manipulation has been buffed as well, pretty massively, more than double strength, from 0.3 seconds to 0.8 seconds, so you can get 4 seconds of cooldown reduction on this now. Oh my gosh, that's actually kind of massive. Then, Desperate Defense has increased scaling from 50 to 80. Yippee, 400 healing when you use Envelop. I'm sure that's still never going to be used. Enveloping Magic has been reworded and shifted to decrease the maximum damage per instance during Envelop to 175. I'm pretty sure functionally it's the same, it's just a bit clearer how that works now. And also, yeah, the new Magic in Blood, as you can see here. Increase your healing received by 25% while at or below 50% health. Pretty good for self-sustain for Rei, I guess, considering she can heal herself with her own bounces, and the bounces are more likely to target her when she is that low. Oh yeah, I don't know if you'll use this now, considering that Magic in the Blood is in base kit, and then you could just swap in even more utility, and possibly one of these super powerful cards like Arcane Manipulation now. And finally, let's see, Threat and Subject increased scaling from 8 to 10, and that's the movement speed card after elimination. Okay, yeah, I'm sure nobody's going to use that. Okay, next up we have even more changes for Saati. A lot of really small power shifts and stuff going on here. So Spare Change has been reworked for the 5th time, or 6th time, or I don't know how many times this freaking talent has been changed, but it's been changed again. So, Spare Change, Ricochet now costs 2 pips, and earning an elimination grants you 2 pips. So, it's a way to snowball and get more pips for eliminations, I guess. And yeah, that's not the only change regarding the coin, so I'm just gonna show you.
Heads or tails?
Bink, boom. Bink, boom. They have reduced the amount of shots that the coin can take, and clearly they've also buffed the explosion damage, which is pretty nifty. So this will no longer be nearly as spammy of a playstyle. Sadly, it's not quite down to the true one-shot that I was hoping for. I wanted it to be a thing where you would flick the coin up in the air, it would redirect a bullet to someone, keeping with Saati's theme, doing like 600 damage, you would kill them behind cover, and then you would just move on, and the coin would cost 1 pip. This isn't quite that, but it is still a step in the right direction, because this will make it so that, yeah, you have a more fluid playstyle. And, to be honest, doing this does have its perks, because there is still a synergy with her ultimate. So I can pop the coin like that, and then... Oh, I missed it. I forgot how tight of a hitbox that is, but yeah, then you can detonate it with the ultimate and still do the big damage. So I guess that's part of why you would want to keep that, is for that synergy right there. Which, quite frankly, is something I don't care about personally. But it is there, and I just one-tapped Ying with that, so, you know. It's a massive gimmick. But the point is, boom, big explosion damage. It's kind of like a delayed fire spit almost. Like, shooting the coin gives you a little brief warning for you to maybe react and get away from the explosion. Of course, that is a very short delay. And the coin is generally faster than the fire spit, but it also has less range than the fire spit, so there's that. And you can also see with this talent, I am able to get quite a lot of coins, because yeah, the coin costs less, and then as I get these elims, I get pips back. Still kind of annoying, but, you know, in a real match, you're not going to be getting eliminations at this rate, and so you can't just spam coins like that. It will still be very expensive. And you aren't going to have a Saati sitting in the back, shooting the coin 5 times, and then flicking another coin out, and then shooting that coin 5 times, etc. On top of that, Saati has a whole bunch of card changes, so let's read through those now. First of all, Costly Physics, right here. This has been reworked to increase the damage radius of Ricochet's explosion by up to 40%. So, I don't remember what that card did previously, but yeah, this... Oh, man. That's the card Drogo's wishes he had with Follow the Scent. Oh my gosh, wait, let me try this out. Alright, put it up to level 5, and...
Heads or tails?
Oh! That's not even hitting Vic. Okay, put that there. Okay, wait. Okay, that's not actually as good as I thought, or it's not working. Okay. Next, there is Steady Predictions, reduce scaling from 0.8 to 0.5. Where is that? Right here. Oh, even less ultimate generation from this card. Okay. Yeah, that playstyle is as good as dead, isn't it? Steel Coin Purse, increase scaling from 3% for 2.5 seconds to 4% for 3 seconds. So this card is a little bit more viable now. Up to 20% damage reduction for 3 seconds, not bad. Paper Design, increased scaling from 4 to 8. That is this card. You know, maybe they didn't have enough time to rework this card. There is no one on planet Earth who is going to use
Saati card that joins the poor scaling cards of
it's
Saati.
so pointless. But you know what? I guess they tried. Oh my. Well, there we go. Those are the Saati changes. We are slowly getting to the bottom of the list here. Here's a change I completely and utterly disagree with. This is the Sha Lin Nerf. Yeah, they're nerfing Sha Lin. Yeah, you heard me right. You heard me right, chat. They're nerfing Sha Lin. Why? I don't know. He's very far from meta right now. He's a very chill champion.
Gen cards
and they're nerfing Sandra.
So poorly now too.
So, Yo, Z1! Hold on, the alert box hasn't popped it up yet. Z1 just raided with a party of 83. There it is! Welcome to the stream, Z1. We are checking out the new update on the PTS right now. I'm in the middle of recording my video on the changes, so welcome, welcome. But yeah, Sand Trap no longer cripples, but they also removed the cooldown penalty, so it's 1 second faster now. And I vehemently disagree with this. Yeah, it's a 6-second cooldown there with my build here, as opposed to 7 seconds previously. But the lack of cripple is such a bad thing. Why? Why are we doing this? I don't remember the last time I've even heard someone complain about Sha Lin, partly because he's a relatively unpopular champion, you know? Some people can't play him because of the frame drops, other people just don't want to play him. And he's also not meta. So, yeah. And his niche was anti-flank, and this makes him worse against flanks. It already reduced the duration of the cripple by 1 second, and to be honest, I think that was fair. You were still able to interrupt abilities, but if the enemy spot unbound, their ability would get interrupted, but then they'd be able to use a movement ability a quarter of a second later. That was really fast recovery time. And now he just doesn't have that option to interrupt abilities at all.
Some people don't like him because of his golden
Shoot, you
hands.
could reduce the duration of the cripple to 0.1 seconds. There'd still be value to that because he'd still be able to interrupt the abilities. Taking that option away from Sha Lin on Sand Trap makes him exceptionally worse when it comes to anti-flank now, because now that puts him on the same level as someone like Cassie, where Cassie doesn't have crowd control against the flank either, except technically her disengage, but that's not really anti-flank material, right? But she just bursts better. Leon just bursts better. Now he's competing to burst better, but he doesn't burst better. I mean, he does still have pretty good burst, right? But look at the recovery time between those two shots right there. I could probably kill faster with Leon, to be honest, if I tried. And same goes for Cassie, right? Blast shot combo and then hit another follow-up shot, hit a disengage, that will do a lot of damage. So he's lost the anti-flank niche of having the burst and the crowd control.
That's 9 in a row.
There's just even less of a reason to pick him against flanks now, and that's the only thing he's good at in the first place. He's certainly not a tank buster. So I guess you want to play recurve then? To keep the cripple? But then of course you lose some of that anti-flank burst, because now it takes me 3 shots to kill Ying. But I mean, I guess if this nerf goes through, recurve's probably the best option now, because it just increases your damage while retaining the cripple. Or maybe we'll see some weird Desert Silence stuff, and I'm not a fan of this change. I don't think it's necessary, personally. I don't know if there's anyone in the chat who would disagree with me, who thinks this is necessary to nerf Sha Lin in this way. Well, of course, let your opinions be heard. I'm sure the devs will see it. But, I don't agree with this change. That's my opinion. Moving on from Sha Lin now, we have Seris. Oh boy, Seris cannot catch a break. She's just getting even more changes in this. Whew, chat. If you're not sitting down, you probably want to be sitting down, because this is pretty big. So,
I must spend the credits.
Where's Soul Collector? Where's Soul Collector? Chat, where did Soul Collector go? Well, I'm gonna pick Forsake.
Twilight reigns.
There's Soul Collector.
Is that blood?
It's in base kit now, chat. Soul Collector is in base kit, and it goes up to 16. But the caveat about that, Sparkster, is it goes up to 16, but they nerf the scaling. So 16 is actually the same as 12. The point of 16 is just to make it so that you have to spend a little bit more time to get to max stacks in the first place, since it is, of course, going into base kit. But yeah, Soul Collector base kit now, yippee! That's pretty cool. And on top of that, they have introduced a new damage talent called Volatile Rift. Dealing damage now charges Convergence 50% faster! And she still has Sorceress. So, yeet! And then ba 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 boom! Ba 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 ba. Ba ba! 81% already, just from killing these 3 people. Ba 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 ba. Yeet! Dying! Ba 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 ba. Quarter my ult back just from that. Hitting 2 people and stunning them in my ult. Gonna try and just do single target damage to make it more realistic. Alright, there's a Rensil. Shoot the Ying.
7 in a row.
Shoot the Victor.
Risky.
And I got another ult. Yeet. And now let me reset the shooting range, because I want to show you guys this with morale boost. Let's increase the power even further. Shooting range. Let's go.
Let's get this done.
This is very silly. Alright, Seris. Volatile Rift. Sorceress level 5. Morale boost level 3. 30% just from killing one person. Rensol. Get my damage bonus coming up in here. Boom. I'm not even doing max damage yet, by the way. I haven't picked up all my Soul Collector stacks. I have to do that again. There we go. More of those. I already have my first ultimate. Throw it out. And getting max stacks now. There we go. Yes, please. Look at that. I'm building 3% per projectile with this fire rate. That is ridiculous. Alright, ult. Hit all 3 of them. Alright, there's 1 kill. So... That's a bit crazy. That's a bit crazy. But wait, chat. There's one more thing we can do this update. Remember from earlier when they reworked Horde? We get 10% additional ultimate charge speed at level 3. It's expensive, but we can even add that in here. And now... I'm gonna ult this Fernando twice before killing him. Yeah.
That's 13 in a row. It's a Tripski.
Oof. And yeah, as Marsic points out, this is not Rei boosted and this is not Octavia boosted. This can be even crazier. Rei on the team, double support. Seris playing damage. Rei giving additional ultimate charge. We're talking about convergence on a cooldown here. This isn't an ultimate, this is a cooldown ability right here. This is some next level stuff. We'll see if this makes Seris viable in high elo. Double support strats. Because one thing that's objectively true about Seris is that her ultimate is fantastic. At every stage of gameplay, being able to group enemies up like this is a big deal. The combo potential is huge. Everyone will tell you that. It's great. Having the ability to do this more, maybe this is finally the key to make her good at high elo and make her not D tier. This is a very big deal, and it's with Soul Collector and base kit too. Wow. And again, if we just do single target damage, you see I'm still building ultimate ludicrously fast. Kill that Vic, boom, throw that out. And then solo target again. I'm just going to do single target only and see how fast it takes to build this up. With all Soul Collector charges, right? I'm already back up to 50%. Shoot that Vic. Okay, I killed 2 enemies and I'm base kit max, and there's my ult. So this is really, really fast. This is really, really, really fast. And yeah, that is a very big Seris buff for the damage playstyle. And you're not losing out on that much healing because, bear in mind, she doesn't technically have a healing talent apart from Forsake making the heal more condensed. And Forsake now has the unique thing where, hey, because the heal is more condensed, you get to spend more time using the base kit Soul Collectors. So I can pop over here, shoot the Cassies for 260 damage a pop, and then burst heal Fernando, and then I have 2 seconds where I can shoot unopposed, pop a Ren Soul out, do that. So Forsake is getting some love here too, but then one thing I also haven't shown you up until now, we can use Soul Collector and Internal Torment at the same time. So we're not done. This causes targets that are stunned to take 20% damage for 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Almost 300 damage per shot. And my teammates will be doing that bonus damage too, so now Internal Torment is also a serious contender for a damage talent. You pick Internal Torment if you want to do more damage. You pick the other talent, Volatile Rift, if you want more convergences. And I suppose which one you choose depends on how much crowd control you have. Because obviously, there is counterplay to this. If you buy Unbound, you recover from the stun basically instantly. You don't even get pulled in all the way. And you'll be able to much more effectively evade that. But there's not really much you can do about a damage debuff. So I think ultimately Volatile Rift will be more powerful in a general situation, but in a case where there is a lot of crowd control, you could make the argument that Internal Torment will be better. Or maybe if you want big damage, right? Maybe you're playing up against a bunch of tanks and you just need raw damage. That's another reason to play Internal Torment. Because also shields will block this too. So All of a sudden now she has 2 damage talents competing with each other, and I think there's a very good case to be made for both of them. Damage Seris just got giga buffed this patch, and Forsake still got buffed in a way. So this is some heat that Seris is packing right now. This is pretty big. Again, I don't know if this will fix her at high elo in any capacity, or make her meta. There's potential for it, though. Objectively, Seris is a lot stronger now after this change. So, see how much more they even need to keep pushing this champion. But this is very big. And yeah, poor low elo is about to get farmed by Seris, dude. That's the other worry, right, about buffing Seris, is that you want to make sure she's still fair for new players. Easy for new players, but not too strong. But this might be a little much for them. I don't know. This is big. This is very big. There are a few more champions to get to. Let's talk about Torvald up next. Torvald's getting some weird, wacky, zany stuff. Torvald is getting a slight change to the way that his health works. So he has slightly less base health, but slightly more base shield. He still has the same effective hit points, 5,500, but his base shield is now 2,700, and his base health is now 2,800. And recharge will generate 2,500 shielding. So recharge won't fully regenerate your shield now, which is kind of weird. Ultimately, this makes him more susceptible to Wrecker, and overall, a little bit weaker. Going to be even harder to heal now because he has less health that can be healed back, and if the enemies have Wrecker, more percentage of his health bar is affected by that. So that's a nerf. And they also nerfed Protection from 550 shield health down to 500, so this thing is getting tiny. Protection almost doesn't exist. Let me double check I'm playing Direct Current. Yeah, look at this. That's so small! It's so tiny. It's so tiny. So, yeah, that's another nerf. And they have also given him some new cards, and these are the only places where he's getting sort of buffed. So, Induction, first of all, reduces Protection's cooldown by 2 seconds after activating Recharge on a 5-second internal cooldown, which is pretty nifty, and I believe both of these used to just be ammo cards. Infusion as well. Where is that card? Here it is. This will now heal you while channeling Nullify. Wait, that's not the ammo card on Nullify, is it? Oh, no, it's Runetorn. Okay, what was this card then? Does anyone remember what Infusion did? Because I don't. But yeah, this will make it so you heal for 150 every 0.5 seconds while channeling Nullify. Out of these two, I think it's pretty clear which one is better. Because, yeah, I mean, Infusion is not going to be good. If you have a shield and you aren't missing any health, then it's pointless. Because they have to chip away your shield first. And also, yeah, you're affected by Cauterize all the time. You have no way to cleanse Cauterize. And if you're channeling Nullify on someone, they're going to be shooting you. Because they're going to try and stop the Nullify from being on them. So, at late game, this card is going to be useless. However, Induction does seem very interesting. I'm guessing they preemptively nerfed Protection to see if people were going to use Induction. Personally, I would have waited, because 550 was already kind of small. But, yeah, Induction is neat. So I can put this at level 5. I can also slap in Glyph of Freedom, and then slap in the healing card at level 1, just to make sure we get those assists. Although it doesn't matter in the shooting range here. But then I can also, one more thing, I have Horde at level 3 already, I can buy Chronos as well. Boom. And let's see how much we can spam this shield. So put the shield on, recharge, shoot Cassies. Ba 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 ba. Oh, he's dead. Okay. But yeah, we would still get that 40%, and then pop the shield on him again, recharge again, and then get cooldown reduction towards our next thing, and then boom, there we go. So there is a little bit of shield spam, and it looks like the internal cooldown doesn't matter much unless you get multiple procs of the Elim card in a short amount of time, and you double recharge back to back. But yeah, there we go, pop the shield on him, recharge. Oh, also, I don't think Chronos 3 locked in. Wait. I'm out of credits. Wait a second. Bro, this only gives me 250 credits as well. This is so sad. This is so sad. I need to reset the shooting range again. My goodness. Let's test that out again, now with Chronos. How does the cycling feel? Put the shield on him. Alright, recharge. I actually... Yeah, wow, that's a pretty good cycle. There we go, get another one. And then, boom, there we go. Wait for him to respawn. There's another one. Recharge. And I still get my cooldown reduction on that. Okay, new shield. Boom, pop that. Recharge. And I actually still get the shield back. So either the internal cooldown just isn't working, or the timing just happens to work out super well, so that if you're consistently just getting one elimination per protection, then you're able to consistently maintain uptime on your recharge card, and that will end up providing a lot of cooldown reduction with the other cooldown elim card. So this might be an interesting new sort of pocketing playstyle for Torvald. They nerfed Wind Dancer and Time Shaper pretty badly. Time Shaper's still okay, but Wind Dancer, there's pretty much no point in running it anymore. So maybe instead of Wind Dancer, you run Induction, and yeah, you just go for a build that kind of looks like this. Maybe put in Time Shaper, because you have a Buck or an Androxus on your team, and then Glyph of Health, or maybe put Glyph of Health at, level 3, especially to make up for the fact that you lost some health, so do something like this. And then maybe that's a new way you can play Torvald right here. Boom! And then recharge, get my cooldown reduction, and then boom, and then boom, and then put a new shield on, and then recharge, and repeat the whole cycle again. And yeah, it means he's less dependent on eliminations for cooldown reset too, so that's another thing. It's an interesting card. Definitely seems like a powerful card compared to what it used to be. Yeah, crazy Torvald stuff. Next up, there's Willo. She's getting some spicy talent changes. Really just talent upgrades. So Nightshade and Scorn are getting some buffs to make them even more savory. Nightshade makes it so that on hit, 25% of Dead Zone's cooldown is refunded. So, if I pop on over here, and I slap Ying in the forehead, I get 25% cooldown reduction on that, and it does not scale per enemy you hit. You only get one instance of the 25% cooldown reduction. So if I put it on the wall here, hit that Vic with it, you see it's still the same 9-second cooldown that it was before. And also bear in mind, yeah, it's a 16-second cooldown, but I'm using Twilight to reduce it by 4 seconds. So it goes down to 12 seconds, and then I get 25% off that. So that's why we get the 9-second cooldown right here. Something I actually haven't tested is, what happens if the enemy walks into the dead zone? Like, they don't get hit by it directly, but then they walk into the hurt, or rather, the call rise effect. So I put that down right there. It was still a 9-second cooldown there. I don't think I hit anybody with that. Wait, what if I just shoot the thing directly? Like, into the wall. Okay, that is 12 seconds. Okay. Quickly die so I can get cooldown reset. There we go. Alright, and then throw the dead zone down. Walks into it. That's something very important to note. So, you don't have to hit the damage instance. Someone just needs to walk into your dead zone at any point to get the cooldown reduction. That is actually kind of good. I didn't expect it to work that way, but it does indeed work that way. So it's a little bit more forgiving than you might originally anticipate. If you miss the instance of damage, that doesn't necessarily mean it's over. You just gotta nudge someone in there. Come on, primary shots, go! Ah, okay, not enough knockback on that. But yeah, there you go. And then, the next change is to Scorn. This now is her shield-busting talent. So instead of bringing back Scorched Earth and replacing Nightshade like I thought they would do, or like I wanted them to do, instead they've made Scorn the shield-busting talent. So each seedling will still deal bonus damage and have reduced detonation time, and the secondary seedlings will also deal 1500 damage over 2 seconds to any deployable shield hit. I have no idea if this stacks, but regardless, the impact damage of the seedling, plus that damage over time, will decimate a shield. No doubt about that. That is a pretty big boost, and it will help Willo out against comps that have a lot of shields, because Blast Flower, remember, doesn't work on shields, and because of her low base DPS, Wrecker isn't the greatest on her compared to a lot of other blasters, so this will give her a tool to fill in that gap, that sort of weakness. Alright, and that's it for Willo. We have 2 more changes. 2 more champions to go over. And Ying is getting a card buff, but unlike some of the previous card buffs, this one's just silly. Let me just show it to you in action. I have a build with it at level 5. So she gets 100%. Yeah, 100% movement speed while Dimensional Link is active. Huh? What? You kidding me? That's crazy. Yeah, we are flying right now. Absolutely flying. That's just silly. That's actually just silly. Does that work with emotes, actually? Hold on. Boom. And then, this one. Oh, no, it doesn't. But yeah, oh my gosh, dude, that is a ludicrous amount of movement speed. So, hey, there you go. I guess that's a fun option for Ying now if you want extra movement alongside your movement. Finally, we get to Zhin. Zhin is getting, well, a pretty nifty change to Yomi, and also a slight buff to Guillotine. Let's go over that first because it's super small. Spite will refund 20% of the ultimate charge if you kill the target with Spite. Now, at face value, you might just be like, oh wait, well you're guaranteed to kill anyways, so... I mean, isn't that just permanent 20% increased ultimate? No. Because to build your first ultimate, you still have to actually, you know, deal damage normally. It doesn't increase the rate at which you charge it. If you do this, it doesn't add on to the refund you already get, so you get 30% just in general, but that 20% is not going to stack onto it. And there are ways to avoid being killed. Rei can ult the target, or envelop the target. Damage reduction. Remember, Haven will counter direct damage. The ultimate is direct damage, so Haven will counter it. If you ult from 100 to 0, they will be left on a sliver of HP. You won't get the cooldown reduction. So, it is a buff to Guillotine, more uptime on it, but you have to make sure you kill the enemies, and that's easier said than done sometimes. And usually, what I would say if you're trying to ult someone with a big health bar, whack them a few times with your sword and then go in for the spite, and you're more likely to kill them. So, that's a small buff to Guillotine, pretty nice. Yomi, however, is the big talent that's getting changed here, and this is introducing a new effect. So, Yomi previously was really boring. It just increased the damage of your primary attacks. Now, it increases the damage of your primary attacks, but with style. So, Whirl now ignites enemies hit for 3 seconds. Your Inferno Blade deals 15% increased damage to targets that are burning or ignited. This is actually pretty cool. First of all, Ignite. That is a different effect to burning, and it's different because, you see, they look like they're on fire, but they're not taking damage. So it's a status effect that simply makes them more vulnerable to Zhin's attacks. And if I whirl through the Ying, you see that I deal 460, 805, so yeah, I do bonus damage. But the second clause is arguably even more interesting here. Deals more damage to targets burning or ignited. So, yeah, Father Drock literally just took the words right out of my brain, plucked them into the stream chat. Fernando is now an excellent pick to pick alongside Zhin, because if Zhin and Fernando are running down the same target, Fernando applies burning to them, and then Zhin will basically permanently deal more damage to that target as long as Fernando is also chasing them. So this creates a new synergy, a new combo potential, where certain character combos are going to be really strong with Zhin, and this opens up a very bold new path for possibly new talents in the future for other characters. And, yeah, this is, it kind of feels like they're doing Marvel Rivals light, you know, because Marvel Rivals has those hero synergies where, like, you can pick the little raccoon guy and ride on Groot or something like that. This is that, but a little bit smaller scale, but still pretty cool, and it's on top of all of Paladins customization already, so I think it's really nice. And it turns Yomi from a damage talent that's really boring, literally just you get more damage for free doing the thing you're already supposed to do, to now, if you're a standalone Zhin, you have to whirl through the enemies and get that bonus damage, but, you know, that ends up being a lot more bonus damage just in a shorter period of time. And you have combo potential with other characters now, and if you play Zhin with this talent with Fernando on the team, that sounds really strong. Or technically, you know, yeah, Tyra with the burn grenade, or shoot, even Barik with Forge Fire. Hey, there you go. New synergy! And I absolutely like it. It makes Zhin a much more interesting character, and this is also much more fair. And also, the last great thing about it, we now have a talent to go along with this infamous build. Whee! I want them to make the world do more damage to ignited targets too, because that would really play into the synergy. But with that playstyle, you now get a bunch more whirls, which means a bunch more uptime on your bonus damage. And if you're able to consistently get that bonus damage, then my gosh, you're going to be doing a lot more damage than Yomi. But you have to play more carefully, because getting up close with the whirl can sometimes be difficult, and it's just more skillful. I like it. I like it a lot. Really cool talent. And that's going to do it for the balance changes. So now one last thing to talk about here before we end off our coverage of these patch notes here. Not ending off the stream, just the coverage.
Don't forget to buy
Bug
and open the
fixes.
flashback eventful skins chests from
Yes.
the Ska'drin event
I already
to showcase
showcased
the
them, don't
wonderful recolors.
But, yeah, so we have a few cosmetic bug fixes. Vanquisher's Lance was overly loud. They have fixed that. That's the Fernando Flame Lance being way too loud. And fixed the death effects on Defrag, Dinara, and apparently Saltaya. Interesting. 2 champion bug fixes. Drogos, they updated Wormjet's description to properly convey how it augments booster. Previously, it said that it increased the movement speed during flight. That wasn't correct. Instead, it increases the max vertical speed and vertical acceleration of the boosters. So this talent still functions exactly the same, don't you worry. But, yeah, it is just, the description accurately reflects it. Also, this is terrible. What the heck? Why are they purple? The entire skin is orange! Please, high-res. Anyways. Yeah, and then also, more importantly, much more importantly, Wisps of Sylvanas. Many people noticed the movement speed only applies to Grover. That has been fixed, so now Wisps of Sylvanas will properly apply to allies, and we will be able to see the true power of this talent for the first time. That's pretty spicy. And finally, Dawnforge has fixed an issue where Dawnforge would not play mode-specific music, only ambient audio, so you get music on Dawnforge now. That's not going to make the experience any better, because it's Dawnforge, but I guess it's there, it helps. But yeah, that is going to do it for the patch notes here, the initial update on the PTS for the Ska'drin Celebration, final update of the year, and honestly, kind of a small update. We got some recolors, we got some pretty sick balance changes, nothing super revolutionary, but I'm sure they are cooking up some great stuff for Season 8, and it's a pretty nice balance update to end off the year, I would say. So yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Make sure, of course, especially to subscribe because we're going to be making a bunch of videos on all of these changes up here. Testing the balance changes in real matches should be pretty fun, so stay tuned for that. And check out the Twitch channel where we are live right now recording this video, because I will also be streaming quite a lot of Paladins, I guess, because the PTS is here. So yeah, get ready for that as well. With all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.